Spirit of the age. Okay. In society today, we're still hearing the same old horrible news stories about young men and women being killed in Juarez, cholera outbreaks in Haiti, and an increase in poverty and hunger in Africa, as well as an instability in the U.S. economy. We always hear about these things, but we never seem to have any adequate solutions to these problems. And so I encourage all of you here today to open your minds right now to consider a new way of thinking about how to solve social problems. Based on the research I have done, I will present to you how the world should be as proposed by the social movement, the Zeitgeist Movement. The Zeitgeist Movement can solve most social and technical problems. And the problems in which we'll investigate are the economy, how to combat poverty, politics, and law. First, we'll begin with the root of all the problems, which are the monetary economies. Today we live in a system that has made us dependent on money, and it's because of this that societies can never attain sustainability, efficiency, and most importantly, peace. Jacques Fresco, who is the inspiration of the Zeitgeist Movement, said in his essay, The Inhumanity of a Monetary-Based System, in a monetary-based society, profit depends on maintaining an artificial scarcity of goods and services, and for the conscious withdrawal of efficiency. This means that no matter how abundant you make resources, as long as you put a price tag on those resources, based on your purchasing power, they will always be scarce because it's artificial. It's made up. In this slide, one of the aspects of capitalism is this idea of this differentiated advantage. And in the monetary systems today, we see this separation of one group of people as represented by this hefty fellow here, who have way too much. And on the other side of the spectrum, we have a group of people here, as represented by this starving African child, who have way too little. This is actually enrooted in the monetary systems today. Poverty is no accident. This is part of the monetary systems. If we had everything we needed, if we had equality, then there wouldn't be a need to have a monetary system. And the Zeitgeist Movement is actually advocating to phase out the monetary system and implement what is called a resource-based economy, in which we use technology to create abundance for all without boundaries of money and profit. We would also use technology to actually free people, to actually do things that matter in life, to be creative, to have an education. We waste too much time working. So our next goal is to try and solve the problem of poverty. Poverty today includes the economically disadvantaged and those who are dying of hunger. According to UNICEF, at least 80% of humanity lives on less than $10 a day, and around 22,000 children die each day due to poverty. This will continue to happen as long as we keep putting price tags on resources which are readily abundant. The Zeitgeist Movement advocates for a resource-based economy, and what we would do to actually create food more abundantly is use a system called hydroponics. Hydroponics is a system of growing in which we take seeds and we implant them into these foam cubes that have a lot of nutrients, and we would actually implant these plugs, as they're called, into these rows of tubes that have an ebb and flow current of water. So, and from there, the crop would actually grow. this is a new system in which you don't need soils and fertilizers anymore. So you would actually have a cleaner product. As well as that, we see that this is enclosed in sort of like a greenhouse environment. So you aren't threatened by weather, by a frost. As well as you're not exposed to bugs, so you don't need pesticides anymore. So you not only have a safer product, but a cleaner product. Now, one of the important things about this, as we see, we're not only expanding on the ground, but we can actually stack. We can actually stack these rows and create crops exponentially, meaning we can create this in large amounts. Okay? And this is what the Zeitgeist movement actually advocates for. If we were to build a skyscraper of this in every single city, we would no longer have poverty, we would no longer have hunger. Of course, politics always gets into the way of human progression. Politics tries its best to solve problems. Politicians, however, regardless of political party, are not trained to solve social issues because they are not students of human behavior. They're not students of sociology or technological sciences. Politicians are, however, businessmen, lawyers, and soldiers. So that's basically all that they know. They have advisors who would actually try and solve these problems. Peter Joseph, who is the founder of the Zeitgeist movement, says this: politics is now outdated, for its processes are largely subjective without scientific reference. Politics is an outgrowth of the monetary system and scarcity. So what he says is that politicians are not really meant to change things. They're there to keep the systems going. Since they are students of business, which is basically a part of the monetary system, and they are lawyers, so they're part of law, which preserves the monetary system as well. And they are soldiers, so they can declare war which is absolutely pointless. Now, one of the ways in which politics and law, quote-unquote, solve problems is they actually create ad campaigns like this: drink, drive, go to jail. What is that solving? That's not solving a damn thing. What law does is they threaten people with fines and with prison, but that really doesn't solve anything. What technology can do is we can implant these tubes and blow into them, and whether or not we're drunk, let's say if we're drunk, we can't start the car. That's actually solving the problem. Politics and law cannot solve social problems. We need to put technology in society today to solve these social problems. So the monetary system, as discussed, is preventing us from moving forward. We can feed everyone and prevent poverty. Politics and law do not address real solutions to social problems. The Zeitgeist movement, however, does address ways to solve social problems. And today the crisis is primarily a crisis in consciousness. We're not really aware that social problems can be solved. So I encourage you to look more into this movement. I encourage you to join the largest global movement for social change the world has ever seen before. For more information on this, on the Zeitgeist movement, please visit our website, thezeitgeistmovement.com or thevenusproject.com. Thank you.